सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। हरिः ओम् श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्. We are in the fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Paramatma gave a list of Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga in the second chapter. Karma Yoga chapter was elaborated chapter 3. Jnana Yoga is going to be elaborated in chapter 4 and 5. So, this is the development. In chapter 4, Paramatma did not start the topic directly. He took a small diversion from sloka number 1 up to 8. Sloka number 1 to 4, Paramatma talked about the glory of this Vedic wisdom. The very teaching was given in the name of Veda to Surya Bhagavan in the Vedic time. Paramatma said, I gave Surya Bhagavan this Vedic wisdom in the Vedic times. And Surya Bhagavan in turn gave this to his son Manu. Manu gave to Ikshvaku, and Ikshvaku spread it in the royal stages. So that's how the Vedic wisdom is to get propagated in the royal sages. But somehow, during the long passage of time, the great knowledge is not available because the link is broken and the knowledge is not available. So, I am teaching that knowledge in the name of Gita to you. That is what Paramatma told Arjuna. Arjuna got a doubt. What is that doubt? Krishna Paramatma is of recent years, that he is a contemporary to Arjuna. Whereas the birth of Surya Bhagavan is a millennia years before. Birth of Surya Bhagavan is millennia before. How to understand this? It is like saying, I taught your great-great-grandfather. How this will be? It is not possible because when great-great-grandfather was there, this person will not be there. So, Paramatma was telling that he already gave it to Surya Bhagavan. This is difficult to reconcile. So, Arjuna got a doubt and asked Bhagavan, how am I to understand? How am I to understand? How am I to accommodate this idea that you taught to Surya Bhagavan? Surya Bhagavan's birth is of ancient time, a millennia before. Whereas your birth is of recent years. So, how can a recent teacher teach the ancient student? It is not palatable. Kindly explain. He did not say you are bluffing. Arjuna is having confidence. Arjuna is having a full faith on Krishna Paramatma. So, he wants Paramatma to explain this. He did not say you are bluffing. So, Paramatma's turn came and he is supposed to explain how this is possible. So, here Paramatma gives the Avatara Rahasyam, the secrecy of incarnation. Paramatma will give now a unique concept in Vedic tradition. Paramatma's incarnation or avatar means Paramatma taking the human form. There is a difference between Janma and Avataram. If a human being is born, we call it Janma. We call it birth. Whereas a Paramatma appears in the form of human being, then it is called Avataram. We have many avatars. Rama Avatara is there, Krishna Avatara is there. Like that, we have got many avatars. 10 of them are very prominent, the Dasavatarams, we call it. So, the Avataram and Janma, Manushya Janma and Bhagavad Avataram. There are three differences fundamentally. The first difference is at the causal level, Karana Bedam. The very cause. Why Bhagavan takes avataram? Why he has to take the human form? The difference between Manava Janma and Bhagavad Avataram. This is the first difference is Karana Bhed at the cause level. The second difference is the very nature. Manushya Janma and Ishvara Avatar. The Swarupa Vedam. The difference between Manushya Janma and Ishvara Avatar. The very nature is different. The third difference is the purpose of avatar. What is the purpose of Manushya Janma and what is the purpose of Ishvara Avatar? This is called Karya Bhedam or Uddesya Bhedam. So there are three differences. I repeat this. The first difference is Karana Bhedam at cause level. The second difference is Swarupa Bhedam, which is the difference in the nature. The third difference is the very purpose. That is called the Karya Bhedam. So, we will discuss one after the other. First difference, we'll see Karana Bhedam. What is the cause? What makes a human being to take birth and a Paramatma to appear in the form of human being? Manushya Janma, the human form, Manushya Janma is due to avidya or ajnanam or karma phalam. A human being does lot of karmas, lot of actions, good or bad, and this karma, it has got accumulated in the form of sanchitam, sanchita karma. And out of this sanchita karma, some part of the karma is matured and ready to experience. So at that stage, he takes the birth depending on the prarabdha. Depending on the prarabdha karma, he takes the birth. If the karma is the good karma and bad karma are 50-50 in proportion, then he takes human birth. If the prarabdha karma is having more punyam and less papam, he takes birth in the higher realms of Swargam. If the prarabdha karma contains more papam and less punyam, then he goes to the Narakalokam. So, why these karmas? Why a human being has to do karma? Human being is doing karma because of his ajnanam or avidya. He doesn't know who he is in real terms. That is why, because of that ajnanam and avidya, he is doing all karma. So, this is what we have Bhagavad Avataram or Sarvajñatvam. Bhagavad Avataram is not out of ajnanam, unlike human being, because Bhagavan is the Sarvajñaha, is omniscient. He knows everything. So in case of Bhagavan's Janma, it is his choice. He chooses to take birth on the earth. So it is not like a helpless situation of the human. Human being takes birth in order to exhaust his prarabdha karma. Whereas for Bhagavan, there is no prarabdha karma. Even though he is not having any prarabdha karma, he chooses to appear on earth human form for a specific purpose. That is why the human janma is called a fall. It is called a patanam or fall. Whereas avataram is called descendant. In the villages, we have this well. People used to tumble water from the well. When these ladies, they tumble water, sometimes what happens, their precious ornaments, they fall into the well. When they fall into the well, they request somebody to get into the well and take that precious ornament. A person goes down with some ropes and all that and takes the ornament and comes back. So the ornament is falling, whereas person goes deliberately. In the same way, a human being is helplessly taking birth because of his ajnanam. Because of his ajnanam, he is accumulating papam and punyam. In order to exhaust papam and punyam, he is taking birth. He has taken birth because of papam and punyam. So he becomes a sansari. He becomes a sansari. Whereas for Paramatma, there is no prarabdham. There is no prarabdham, there is no agami, there is no sanchitam. For Paramatma. So there is no need, there is no helpless situation for him as in the case of human being. But whereas Paramatma chooses to take the birth of human being or to take the form of human being and then does whatever the good thing he has to do. Now, in case of Bhagavan, he may take birth from a human womb, or like any human being undergoing those 9 months, the same way Bhagavan also can take birth, or it is not a mandate. This type of birth is not a mandate for Bhagavan's avatar. He may appear in this world in the human form by entering into the womb of a woman. Even otherwise, he can appear without the normal course of the human birth. The example is Matsyavataram and Narsimhavataram. We have other avatars. There is no parentage. Directly God appears in that form and does whatever he wants to do. So, in case of avataram, the first reason is Karana Bheda. Avataram, in case of avataram and Manushya Janma, the Karana Bheda is at the cause level, there is a difference. Cause level, Bhagavan takes birth, Bhagavan takes the human form deliberately, purposefully, wanton. Whereas the human being takes the birth helplessly, out of his ignorance, out of his avidya, he takes the birth. So this is the first. The second difference is the very nature, swabhavam. The very composition, there is a difference. What is the difference in the composition? Jiva Janma, we said this because of Ajnanam, and Jiva becomes a samsari. Bhagavad Avataram is out of Jnanam. Therefore, Bhagavad Avataram, in that Avataram, Bhagavan is asamsari. He is not a samsari. So, this is what we read in the Mundakoparishad, that mantra. Tabane vrukshe vruksho nimagnaha anisaya sochate mukhyamanaha. On one branch of a tree, there are two birds which are looking alike. One is eating that pipala fruit, and when the fruit is sweet, it is enjoying. When the fruit is sour, it is undergoing that dukkham. Whereas the other bird is not eating. It is simply watching this bird and enjoying. So, these two birds are, one is Jiva, the other one is Bhagavan. Now, the Jiva Sariram, the body of the human being, is not directly from Maya. Bhagavat Sariram is directly from Maya, whereas the Jiva Sariram is not directly from Maya. Maya means the Prakruti. This Maya is Trigunatmikam. From this Trigunatmikam means it consists of Sattva, Rajas, Tamo Gunas. Sattva Gunam, Rajo Gunam and Tamo Gunam. All the three gunas are there in Maya. And out of this, the 5 basic elements have come. What are the five basic elements? One is called Akasham, then water, then we have got the fire, then we have air, and then Prithvi. So all these five elements, when they come out of this Maya, they are in the subtle form. Then there is a process called Panchikaranam. By this Panchikaranam, these subtle Panchabhutas, subtle five elements, Akasha, Vayu, Agni, and then Apaha and Prithvi. All these five elements, they become gross. Gross means we can experience these five elements. So a human being is composed of these five elements, five gross elements. And that is why his Shariram is called Bhautikam. Pancha Bhautikam are simply called Bhautikam. Bhautika Shariram means made up of Panchabhutas. Whereas the avataram of God is not made up of Panchabhutas. It is simply directly from Maya. So his Shariram is called Mayikam. Mayikam. So avataram is called Maya Manushaveshaha. Maya Manushaveshaha. Nobody calls Bhuta Manushaveshaha. That is why Paramatma need not take the birth from a womb. He may take or he may not take. Like, the Narasimha Avataram and Matsya Avataram. He can directly appear in the form of human being at his will. Whereas a Jiva, a Shariram is born out of Prarabdha. If his Prarabdham is a predominant Punyam, he gets a healthy body, cultured parent, and very amicable and spiritual environment. If his Prarabdham is dominated by Papam, then he gets a sick body, sick parents, and sick environment. So, we already discussed that to exhaust Papam and Punyam, Jiva takes birth, and the Shariram also there is a difference. The human being is having a Bhautika Shariram, whereas Paramatma is having Mayika Shariram, directly from Maya. The third purpose, why Paramatma takes birth, why human being takes. Human being takes birth because he has to exhaust his prarabdham. That is Punya Papa Kshayartham. Punya Papa Kshayartham. In order to exhaust Papam and Punyam, the human being takes birth. Whereas Bhagavan takes birth in order to establish dharmam, in order to destroy the evil forces in the world, to protect and to bless the world. Sadhurakshanam and Dushta Sikshanam. This is the main purpose of Bhagavan to take birth in the human form. Avatara Shariram is designed according to the need of the hour. Bhagavan takes birth for Dushta Sikshanam, for Rakshasa Samharam. That is called Dharma Samsthapanam, for Loka Anugraham, to favor the world, to establish Dharma. in Puranas we see that these bhaktas go to Vishnu Paramatma, and then pray him, and they request Paramatma to take the human form and destroy the Rakshasa. There is a popular story. In that popular story, one innocent devotee goes to the temple priest and he questions the priest, in what form should I meditate on God? So the temple priest, he was very busy and he wanted to tease this innocent fellow, and he says that, you pray him in the form of a buffalo. So innocent person takes it as a upadesa, and he keeps on meditating on the buffalo form of God, and God appears to him. And one day in the temple they were taking that Utsav Vigraha for procession purpose, the Utsava Murti. But that is not moving. Then this innocent Bhakta told that horn of the buffalo is on the way. It is blocking the Utsav Vigraha. So you just tilt the Vigraha on the right side a little, you can take. They did that, and they could lift the Vigraha. So like that, the Paramatma, depending on the need of the hour, it takes any form. Like in the case of Ravana, these Rakshasas, they do lot of tapas, and then they get a boon. So Ravana did a severe tapas, and Parameswara appears before him. Ravana wanted to have a lot of varam. So he says that he should not be killed by Devatas. He thought that the human beings are very inferior to him, so he can kill them. So he says that he did not say that I should not be killed by human. So immediately Bhagavan took form of the human and then killed Ravana. In case of Hiranyakasipu, he is a intelligent person. He said that I should not be killed by human beings, I should not be killed by animals, because the Kurmavataram and Matsyavataram he has seen, and also the Ramavataram, Krishnavataram he has seen, so I should not be killed by human beings or by animals. I should not be killed in the night, I should not be killed in the day, I should not be killed inside the house, outside the house. Like that he had put lot of conditions. Then Bhagavan also has to design his form to suit the need of the hour. So he takes the Narasimha Avataram, half lion and half, and then kills the Rakshasa. So in case of human birth and avatara, there are three fundamental differences. One is called Karana Bheda, at the cause level. The human being is born because of Ajnanam, Ajnanat, whereas Bhagavan takes the human form because of jnanam. He is fully aware because of jnanam. Jnanat. Swarupa Vedaha. Bhagavan's Sariram is Mayikam, is directly from Maya. Whereas a human being is not, his body is not directly from Maya, his body is from the five elements. This is like, the solid becomes liquid, liquid becomes gas in case of human being. In some cases, directly the solid turns out to be gas without taking the liquid form. Camphor is an example. Camphor sublimates. So in the same way, the Maya sublimates into the human form in case of Bhagavan. Whereas in case of the human being, it has to change into five elements, and five elements constitute the body of the human. A human being is a samsari, Paramatma is asansari. Then Uddesha Vedaha. Uddesha Vedaha means what is the purpose of the birth. The purpose of the human birth is Loka Sangraha. The purpose of the human birth is simply to exhaust the papam that he has got it because of prarabdha. Whereas for Paramatma there is no prarabdha. It is for Loka Sangraham, for the good of the entire world. Paramatma takes the birth. So, now, how to know whether a particular form is an avatara or janma is one fundamental question. So, the answer is scriptures. The scriptures clearly mention Rama as an avatara, Krishna as an avatara. Like that, the scriptures do mention these are the avatara. Now, you may question that in the modern days also we can see some avatars. Do you accept or not? Scriptures do not question the appearance of avatara in Kali Yuga. It only leaves to the fate of the human beings. For that matter, we can pray God in any form. So, if somebody believes so and so is an avatara, we can leave it. We cannot question he is not an avatara or he is an avatara. Like that, we need not debate. Then there is another important factor. People do think that avatara means extraordinary siddhis. Avatara must have extraordinary siddhis. Not necessary. That is one kind of misconception people do possess. They think that if a person is having some siddhis, he is an avatar. Not necessary. Even Rakshasas do have the siddhis. Indrajit, for that matter, is having lot of siddhis. He can become 10 people in one time. He can fight without appearing in the human form. So disappearing, he can fight. He can fight from Akasa. So like that, Indrajit is having a lot of siddhis. For that matter, many Rakshasas are having siddhis. So they have these miraculous powers. So these miracles are not the benchmark for avatara. For that matter, the human beings can also get siddhi by upasana. If one does upasana, then he can have this. So siddhis are not the parameter to decide a particular person, say, an avatara. Because even Rakshasas are having siddhis. Then the other way is, if the limitation do not disprove the avatar. Limitation means the God is all pervading. But whereas an avatara, when God is in the human form, then that is a limitation. So the limitation do not disprove, do not contradict the avatar. The Ramavataram, for that matter, is very simple, and he behaves like an ordinary human being. When Ravana takes away Sita Devi forcefully, Rama cries like any other human being. He talks to the trees, he talks to the hills and to the entire nature, seeking Sita Devi. He also sends people all around the people in all directions, search for Sita. Being a Bhagavan, he can straight away say, hey Hanuman, you go to Lanka and see Sita. Because he is all knowledgeable, omniscient. Being a Bhagavan, he is omniscient. He knows where Sita Devi. But he did not do. He has sent people all around, in all directions. And he need not build a bridge to go to Lanka. That is again a limitation, just like a human. He can either fly or he can simply kill by just a mere look. But he constructed a bridge. He went with his troop and then had a fight and then killed Ravana. And then killed Ravana. So all these actions represent the limitation. So the limitation do not disprove avatara. Siddhis need not prove an avatara. Limitation do not disprove an avatar. Then the third question is, do we all require an avatara for spiritual growth and moksha? Then the answer is, we need not have an avatara. Already avatars were there and we have many forms. You can take any form and meditate and then know yourself. That is, we have that Chitta Suddhi, Chitta Ekagrata, do the pujadikam, and cleanse your antakarna, achieve that Chitta Suddhi, know yourself in the real sense, then free yourself. So for this, God need not appear again as an avatara. So for a person to grow spiritually, already whatever the avatars Paramatma exhibited, they are enough for the purpose of prayer. He need not appear again. Then there will be another question. Will the presence of God give moksha? Bhagavat Sakshatkaram. Will it give moksha? Bhagavat Sakshatkaram need not give moksha. Because Paramatma is right in front of Arjuna most of the time. Not only in front of the Arjuna, he is in front of Duryodhana, is in front of Bhishma and other Karna and other people. So, mere presence of Bhagavan will not give moksha. So, what will give you moksha? Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanura Mardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Krishna Paramatma became a Jagadguru by teaching the moksha shastram called Gita. So with that moksha shastram, we can become or we can be free from the shackles of this karma. So with this background, we'll see this sloka. Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tavacharjuna tanyaham veda sarvat natvam veta parantapa. Sri Bhagavan bahuni me vyatitani janmani tavacharjuna tanyaham veda sarvat natvam veta parantapa. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. He Parantapa, Arjuna, me tava cha bahuni janmani vyatitani tani sarvani aham veda tvam na veta. So Arjuna questioned, how do I reconcile that you taught to Surya Bhagavan? Surya Bhagavan's dharma is param. Param means it is of ancient time, Vedic time, millennia. Whereas your janma is aparam. Aparam means recent years. You are my contemporary. Then he explains, Paramatma is explaining, He Parantapa, He scorcher of the earth means Arjuna, me tava, for me and for you, bahuni janmani. Bahuni janmani means many years, many janmas, vyatitani, past. May we have underwent many janmas. We took many births. I took many births, so much so you also took many. Tani sarvani, all those janmas, all those things, aham veda, I know, because I am Bhagavan. Tvam naveta, whereas you do not know your previous janmas. Ajopi san avyayatma bhutanam iswaropi san prakritim swamadishtaya sambhavam yatmamayaya. Aham ajaha avyaya atma abhisan. Aham avyaya. Avyaya means I am death. Ajaha, I don't take birth, I don't undergo death. I am free from birth and death. Such an Atma I am. Bhutanam Ishvaraha Pishan. I am the Lord of all Bhutas. Swam Prakrutim Adhishtaya Atmamayaya Sambhava. With my own will and pleasure, I take the control of Maya and take the birth. I take the control of Maya and take the birth. So, Maya is under my control, whereas for human being, the human being is under the control of Maya. This is the great difference. Because he is under the control of Maya, he does not know who he is in real terms. Whereas Paramatma knows, because Maya is under Paramatma's control. Chinmayananda gives a beautiful example. He gives an example of a child who is going along with his parent, with his father. So, on the way, he saw a policeman taking a thief with handcuffs. So he asked his father, Daddy, why this man is having that handcuff? What is wrong with him? Then father explained that this person is a thief, the other person is a police, so he is taking him to put him in jail. So they went on further. They saw a man with a cuff and 4 police people are there, and they are taken. So he said that, Daddy, what is this? Earlier only 1 police was there, now 4 police. Now 4 policemen are there. Then father explained that this thief is a bigger thief. So he needs more people so that he cannot escape easily. Then the days passed by. One day they were seeing the parade. So the president was surrounded by many police people. Then the boy cried, Daddy, see that big thief. Then he said, No, he is not the thief, he is the supreme commander of this country. Because the policemen are under his control, whereas the thief is under the control of police, whereas in case of president, the policemen are under the control of the president. So like that, Paramatma is having control of Maya, whereas Jiva is not having any control of Maya. On the contrary, he is being controlled by Maya. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirбhavati bharata abhyutthanam tadatmanam jamyaham. Hey Bharata, yada dharmasya glani adharmasya cha abhyutthanam bhavati tada aham atmanam jamyaham. So, hey Arjuna, whenever there is a decline in the righteousness and increase in the unrighteousness, then indeed I create myself. I take avatara. I appear in the form of human being. So, there is a glani for dharma. Nobody is following dharma. Everybody is resorting to adharma. So, if that is the case, that is the situation in this world, then I appear in the form of human being and do dushta sikshana and sishta rakshana. So in such case, what happens? All good people will be, troubled, and they are ill-treated by the evil person. So, in order to safeguard the good people, the sajjanas, all good-natured people, have to take birth. So, Paramatma is giving the reason, the uddeshyam, the purpose of his birth. Paritradaya sadhunam vinasaya cha dushkrutam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami. Whenever the need comes, sadhunam paritranaya, to safeguard the Sant Purush, to safeguard the noble people, and to destroy the evil forces. Vinasaya cha dushkrutam, to evade, to destroy the evil element in this world. And dharma samsthapanarthaya, to establish dharma. Sambhavami yuge yuge, in every yugam, in every time, in every need of the hour, I do appear in the form of human being. So there is a threefold purpose as per Bhagavan in this sloka. One is called paritranam, vinasanam, and dharma samsthapanam. So he wants to safeguard all the noble people, and he wants to destroy the evil people. Then he has to establish dharma. These are the threefold purpose. With this threefold purpose, Bhagavan takes avatara and fulfills his avatara, the purpose, and fulfills the purpose of the avatar. So, with this 1 to 8 slokas, Bhagavan unfolded two main topics: the glory of Bhagavad Gita and the avatara rahasyam. So, 9th sloka onwards, he will enter the text proper, that is Jnana Yoga. The rest of the entire chapter is dealing with Jnana Yoga, and 5th chapter also the continuation of the 4th chapter. So with this I'll stop today, and we will learn about Jnana Yoga in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.